Yes.
Don't hurt me.
We're live.
Hell yeah, we're live,
We're
baby.
live. Thank you, Tony. This is the first episode
Meg.
of The Golden Rule.
For 2019.
Back again. 2019. Goddamn.
Let's go.
Dude, how are you, man?
I'm doing really good, actually.
Yeah, you look good. You got another haircut. You get a haircut every like 2 days.
Fuck yeah.
Now it's hecka fresh all the time.
Tonka. So, what we're going to talk about?
Dude, I don't know. Like, so much has happened, right? But like,
Mm.
I've been watching your hustle. We've been after. I think the last show we talked about
What
Kevin
are
and
you
I
talking
leaving Super.
Okay.
You taking off and talking about, your feelings about that.
about? Okay.
And then from there, it was pretty chill. It was upstairs, right? I was on the
Mm.
couch. So it was like kind of cozy. Now we're here. It's kind of freezing.
Get our boss our ass.
And we're standing up, so we're a little bit more, I think, active
Yeah.
in our deliverance and everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like I've been seeing and watching your hustle. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Not many people, like I said to you before, like you came over that one time.
Mm.
Not many people are willing to do what you do,
Mm.
which is like a door-to-door salesman, one by one by one, sale by sale by sale, like one at a time, and really just focusing on that. When I think you're talking about a lot too,
Mm.
your journey to become an entrepreneur, like full-fledged on your own, which I see your struggle and the back and forth of your mind, which is a very powerful thing.
Mm.
But that's why we have this space, like the Golden Rule, and that's why you also have us as friends, like.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of cool too to see you go through. That's what it is, man. That's the grind. That's the hustle. That's the struggle. That's the hardness of it.
Mm.
And we still deal with those thoughts today,
Yeah.
10 years later, still today.
Damn.
Still
Won't go
fear.
away.
Still fear biting at your heels. And you're like, get away from me.
Fucking fears.
Trying to be positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Like, you go on your Gary Vee binges,
Mm-hmm.
and I go on my Gary Vee binges too.
He's a
and it-
shit right there.
And then you get pulled out again.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you want to share a little bit, like, what's been your journey since that time we talked to now?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with I was self-conscious about, oh shit, I'm not getting enough likes or I'm not getting enough sales
Mhm.
online, you know,
Mhm.
because main thing is I want this shit to blow up online, right?
Word,
Because
yeah.
I want to be mobile. I
Right.
want to be a mobile jeweler, just work from home or work from wherever I want to work from.
I like that. Can you expand on that? Because
Robin?
the fact that you're mobile, like
Yeah.
you do house calls.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is special. Or like when you shop for me. And I
Mm.
thought that was just very special, very like, oh, that's something cool. Like you could hit that personal shopper bit, because there's that Instacart vibe going now, like where
Mhm.
people shop for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's such a service. I think
Mm.
it's very, it's very marketable.
I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages.
For
like,
sure, on
the-
you.
Yeah, like the thing is, the thing is like when I go mobile, I'm
Yeah.
pretty much doing it the gold plated or gold finished jewelry items,
I
but
see.
as a personal service, like
Yeah.
that's the real gold, real diamonds. Like I can do that,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, that I can't really show you in person, so it's kind of like, oh shit, it's still online based, but
Gotcha.
it's really different markets. But
But
if you
that's cool
trust
that
me,
you're
you know.
even to opening your mind or opening your
trying.
door to it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. They're like, whoa, this guy will do that. That means he'll take care of me. Like I don't know. I felt more care, even though we're
Mm.
friends. Like the fact that you would go and do that.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, that was cool. So
It's a
thank you.
personal touch. you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But I mean, in terms of the hustle, I mean,
Yeah.
damn, it's been crazy. Like going to barbershops. I've just been spreading that, but I've also kind of hopped back into the SoundCloud market because
Okay.
they do have money
Yeah.
or they do have, money that they want to spend on other things as well.
Yeah.
Right. But honestly, like, I just like music. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah.
I love music and I love fucking UFC and
Yeah.
fighting and shit. You
Yeah.
know? Those are like the two.
Where UFC come in?
I don't know. It's just like I've always watched fighting,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
fucking Gary Vee does that shit. He does his personal brand, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I want to share my personal interest in
Yeah.
my brand, and
Right.
so it's SoundCloud and also UFC or fighting or boxing. Like I love that
Okay.
stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I've just been doing that, and honestly, like in terms of social media, one
Uh-huh.
thing that I feared was, am I gonna blow up, or it's not even blow up? Is it gonna work? Do people
Uh.
really make sales online, right? They do.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
But it's like, what the fuck are you going to do about social media? Because
Right.
I see a lot of social media influencers and people, they think they're being social. We think they're being social, but they're not.
Right.
You could be even more social.
Right.
And so, I don't know. It's like I've been ranting that shit. Like,
Yeah, like what you do,
crazy.
you
you
know,
know?
where you actually connect with people. And I think that's something that we lack in a way. Where, yeah, we have a pretty good rapport with clients, and they'll say nice things about us, but I feel like you're in the trenches, like you're in the weeds of it. Like you don't care that it's one person at a time.
No.
I wanted to incorporate that more in what we do too, where we can stop looking so much at the macro, but really dig deep into the micro bits of marketing, which we didn't do that before, because again, it's like when you have cooks in the kitchen where you can fly, right? And that's why I was like so confident to let go of Super. Is like I could see you doing what you're doing now. I saw that already before. And nowadays, like with me and Kevin, like we always have to check. So instead of doing a rocket, it's a check.
Yeah.
So the rocket's a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to incorporate. Like the more that we get comfortable with us being okay with our role. Like, hey, you fly, and you be okay with me flying, and I'll be okay with you flying. So I don't feel like we're there yet. But that's the thing too. It's like there's advantage and disadvantage, right? If you don't have anybody to check you, how's that going? Does like Cindy still check you?
I mean, I
or
still
be your balance, right? Not check you, but be your balance.
surprisingly, I still run it by her. I'm like, hey, what do you think? Like
Yeah.
on some things,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like especially the influencer route, like,
Yeah.
oh, is it cool if we give this out? Or, oh, what do you think about this budget? You know,
Yeah.
but in terms of like the ideas of just like fucking socializing,
Yeah.
she just goes, whatever, just do
That's
it.
you, right?
That's just me.
You're just
I just
like,
go all out.
whatever you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
that's
crazy.
something we're always like second guessing.
Look,
You know?
Mick, Gary Vee says that shit all the time, right? Like, you do, and then you learn after.
Right.
Like, I was calling myself on the Super Jewry code, right? I was like, my rapper name is Super Jew, right? Super Jew. Like,
Yeah.
that's hella fucking, like, crazy.
Super
That's
true.
crazy, you know what I mean? Like, some kids found it funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, like, I got, like, feedback, and I was like, some people might find that shit offensive. So
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, lesson learned, changed it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, look, if I keep second guessing, I'm never going to do it.
Right.
And all that shit in my head, it's going to be like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I said, fuck all, go out. 2019 is gonna be an explosive year, not just for us, but for everybody.
Yeah.
If you put in that shit, you
Right.
know?
It feels that way too. Like now we're getting more confident to like just go. And even with Kevin, like he's always been like that. Oh, what do you think? Well, how should I? But what doesn't it sound like this? I'm like, and then I wasn't doing my job as a partner and go, no, it's cool. I would be like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know, and then I would get stuck in that. And I wasn't strong enough to offer him a counterweight. I would just be like, okay. So the weight got heavier. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm learning. I'm here to support you and not spite you. But I'm just here also to be your counterweight. Like you can't do, for example, here we're in the gym, right? Like you can't do certain moves without that counterweight. You know, without a certain resistance to get stronger. You need to add more weight on the bar. So I was like, dude, I need to be stronger in how I'm providing this support. I can't just be like yes man all the time. Like we talked about that on our other show, Past the Eye. I was like, man, dude, I'm just like a yes man. Oh, we have a Ice Entertainment. Roxy from London saying hi. Hi, Roxy.
Hello.
Thank you for tuning in.
London.
From London. Okay, sorry, that's my London accent. I love London. Cheers. Yeah, so like I'm learning to do that where it's like it doesn't feel like a check. I think that maybe that's a negative word to use, but more a counterweight, like a balance. Like I'm gonna provide this weight here so you can get higher, or I'm gonna provide this extra resistance so you can get higher or stronger or whatever. So what other different like things have you experienced? Because I know you be going hella back and forth with your goals, right? Or not goals, but like direction of Super. And I know because Kevin always tells me.
I mean, like,
how's that?
It's weird because I like one thing that really hit me with Gary Vee, right? It's like, don't put me in a fucking box.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the box, right?
Just go.
And so I was like, wait, like I'm a jeweler, but I'm more than that.
Yes, you are.
You know? And so
for
I'm just
sure.
like, fuck the box. Like,
Yeah.
look, if my market is SoundCloud rappers or fucking barbers or fucking teachers or whoever,
Yeah.
honestly, the way I see it is like, look, it's 2019. We're fucking with social media. I don't want to only cater to one market. I don't need to.
Mm-hmm.
There's different types of people that buy it. You know?
Right.
And I'm just like, the main thing that I found out was like, do you connect with me?
Mm.
Do you fuck with me?
Yeah.
If you do, it doesn't matter if you have tattoos or not, or if you're young or old. Like, you're gonna buy
Yeah.
because
yeah.
you support me and you
Right.
fuck with me. And
Yeah.
like, what? And another thing that I had trouble with was giving value. Right? Okay, I can give value about the jewelry stuff. That's great, but I wanna, you know me. I love giving this type of value where it's
Yeah.
like personal. Like,
Yeah.
let me help you.
Yeah.
How can I help you, Meg? How can I
Yeah.
help you, Kevin? So that's why I created my personal. What the fuck is
Mm.
Tony, or who the fuck is Tony? Because who the fuck is Tony? You'll fucking find
Ah.
out, bro, girl. You know what I mean? But that's why I'm trying to do more than just the jewelry route.
Yeah, I see. I see.
That's where I want to be like, yo, if you're on social media, like, okay, let's ask, what are still some of the, are you going through same challenges?
Me?
Mm.
They're like on social media. Do you say?
Yeah. Instagram. Let's say Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. So for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just changed my personal into the Les Vus.
Yes.
Right. We're gonna talk about this
Yes.
pretty in depth on. This is like your
Please,
preview,
please.
I guess. But I changed it, and it wasn't something I've been planning actually. I
Mhm.
was just bullet journaling,
Okay.
which is just like free for all for your like your mind, like get some shit out of your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, cool. And then I was thinking, like, dude, like I'm tired of the feeling like we still have this separation between us. Like I'm trying to boast this personal brand and still trying to promote Kevin Levu photography. I was like, how can I marry the two where it makes sense? Because I know that I have a knack for social media and posting and telling stories and giving that counterbalance to the professional, stern, strict Kevin Levu photography, right? So what could I do? I was like, dude, I'm going to just change it to our personal brand. And I think I was inspired because I was watching a Barton Geo vlog.
Oh.
And I remember like Barton Geo from Barbell Brigade. And I was like watching them back in 2012 when they first started their gym. And they were saying too, like they each had their own personal YouTube channels. They turned Bart's into Barbell Brigade and they turned Geo's into the bears. They're bears, like their little name for each other. I was like, dang, they did that back in 2012 and they understood where they were going together. Like they were a team together. And I was like, I've been paying attention to their vlogs and I've always been a fan of them, but I was like, oh, we should be doing that. We should be a team on all fronts.
Yeah.
On all social fronts. I think like in my mind I'm already like a team, but to make that that inner decision to be on a team and have that be reflected in the public, because we have public persona, like I think that's just the next step. That's like step 2, the follow through, right? So I could like be like, yeah, cool, I'm a team, but if I don't follow through with those thoughts, it feels incomplete or it feels half-assed, or maybe I didn't really make the decision to be a team, right? So I want to see like when I make a decision that it affects everything. Like the punch is not like a weak punch, but it's a follow through punch. You know what I'm saying? So like have that infect everything that I do, and try to be very conscious of, oh, where else am I separating myself or trying to be like, oh, you're over there and I'm over here. Because I still see that with Kevin.
Is that the challenge?
Yeah.
Huh.
So me going like, and I see him slowly breaking that down. He's not very conscious of it. So it's part of my job to make that aware, but not in a mean way or not in a accusing way. But that's just how we were before. We're just very separate. Because, I don't know, like everything was separate, even though we were like, oh, we're Kevin and Meg Levu. But actually, so much in our mind and like our actions was separate. Like, that's your dog, you take care of it. Like we had Caden, right? Or that's your dog, you take care of it. Like there was this weird separation between us. So now I see there's still remnants of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy that like I didn't discuss it with him. I was just like, this is how it is. We're going to have a personal, we're going to have a business. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, does that mean I can't share personal on my Kevin Levu page? I was like, no. I mean, it's just like, you know, if you want to post a lot of personal stuff, it's nice that we put it through the Levu's page, you know, that we have this presence. And so helping somebody get out of their habits of 10 plus years of me is really difficult. And I'm trying to like be like, hey, come over here.
Yeah.
I'm over here, remember? But I can't be weak like that about it. I have to be like, hey, I'm here. Remember? So there's a big difference between hello and then this one is I'm here, right? So that's on me. Like if I wanted to make a change, because and I always get in my head about that, where it's like, why do I gotta make the change? And we talked about that before on this show, and it's like, well, because you see more.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You see more, so you have to lead. If you're seeing the ways in which something can be done better, like don't complain, just get up and do the action and lead and go do it. And I was like, sometimes you get in your head and you be a little bitch about it and you're like, but why me?
Yeah. It's easier.
You ever feel like that?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I have to be the one to lead the change. Why do I feel like I'm the one leading the change all the time? And I think that pressure can sometimes be too much. But like, I would just say be gentle with yourself. Like now, before I used to take that on like personally, like, oh, why me and all that stuff. It's like, well, because you see more. So that's,
Yeah.
it's like you see more. That means you're capable of actually changing it. If you didn't see it and you're unconscious of it, like you didn't even get to step one. So obviously you wouldn't be able to lead the change. So it's just because that's how I am. Like I'm more sensitive to that stuff, and that means, well, if you're more sensitive to it, then you're going to be the one. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, cool. And then accept it. Like, okay, cool. And then just what does it take to execute that? Well, I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to right now.
Yeah.
So that was just one example, like the social media thing. Like yesterday, I saw him post finally. He's so passionate about fitness.
Yeah.
And he posts one picture about he's doing squat or whatever.
On the Levu page? Or?
On the Kevin Levu page.
Wow.
Or photography page. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, B, you know, you could post on our the Levu's page. Here's the login and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I told him after the fact. So
Okay.
see, that's me going like, just like assuming that he's gonna
Do it on yours?
do it on the Levu's on
Levu's.
our page.
Okay.
And like I didn't give him any guidance, or I didn't say
Oh.
until after.
Okay.
Right? So I was like, oh, okay, so here's where I can be better at that. And then I was just gentle about it, like, oh, yeah, you can do it, or you can not, you know, it's okay, there's no pressure.
And then what happened?
And then he logged in by himself, but he hasn't posted anything, but I think it'll
Did he
come.
take it off, the fitness one, on his Kevin Levu?
No, he just kept it there. I was
Okay.
like, no, it's okay, you can keep it there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you now have a place to do that,
Like,
where
yeah.
you won't have to ask yourself, is this weird if I post my fitness stuff on my professional page?
Yeah.
Like he would always ask me that. I'm like, yeah, it's no problem. But then he would always get in his head and be like, nah, it's not, it doesn't match. I was like, well, now you have a place to do that, and it's not like you don't have an audience here. It's like 0 followers. Like there's people to speak to here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like that's just a thing that just happened like 2 days ago or whatever it was. So that's the social media challenge that we're going through.
Actually, that's really interesting because I was, you saw me. My Super Jewelry Co. page was like fucking a mess.
And then you change your profile.
It's like I always change. Like I love it. Like honestly, Meg, like even if it's 10 years into the business, I'm still gonna fucking change.
That
you know what I mean?
is
Like,
me too, dude.
I don't want to just
wrong with that.
stay.
Yeah.
Like, look, if I don't fuck with this shit later,
Yeah.
you feel me? Like there's so many people in this world. And one thing that I did do, the reason why I did separate, right? Cindy brought it up. Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I thought that he does all his shit in all his VaynerMedia and whatever he's Vayner Sports, right?
Yeah.
And then she was like, no, hold on. Like Gary Vee, that's his personal brand. It
Yeah.
can be a mess, whatever,
Yeah.
right? But VaynerMedia, Vayner Sports, all that stuff is tailored just for that.
Right.
And I saw it and I was
Right.
like, holy shit, you're right. It's all
Yeah.
branded like that.
Right.
You know, so that's why I was like, okay, well, fuck. I need something for me. And you and I talked about this shit, you know, but finally I did.
Yay.
And so now my business page is
Yeah.
literally just business page,
Good,
stories,
good, good,
posts,
good.
right?
Yeah.
Now my personal page is where I can be me.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing because now it's not a mix.
Yeah,
I don't feel
yeah.
confused.
Yeah.
You know, like if I feel like I want to rant about some shit, I can go on my personal now.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas before I'm like, oh, fucking on my business, like Super Jew, come on, that shit would have, maybe that shit really would have offended some people, and I would have been like getting
No,
way
but you learn
more.
real quick.
So I was like, okay, fuck, learn, and
Yeah.
then just, you know, fucking don't be stuck on the past, just
Yeah.
fucking move on, you
Yeah,
know. And
yeah.
it's like Gary Vee talks about that shit a lot too.
Mhm.
And it's like I know we bring up a lot about Gary Vee, but hey, come on, like if you really apply what he's teaching you,
Mhm.
it fucking works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, like with KLV, Kevin Levu, I know it's his Kevin Levu, but it's still photography. It's his
Yes.
business page.
Yes.
So I think the fact that he put his fitness thing, it should be in the Levus.
Yeah.
That should be like a personal between you and him.
But it was the first time. See, like I was like, okay, so this is
But
the
it's-
way that I could like
yeah.
inject. You know?
Now it's happening though. At least he tried it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So now just keep moving forward with it.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to get out of that habit where I'm waiting for him to notice. This, notice me senpai like thing, like that I have, this complex that I have. And I'm like, because my love language is act of service. So the first thing that I'm going to do to show that I love you is just do something of service for you. Like, I don't need you to ask me. I'm just going to be like, oh, I think you would like this. I'll just do it. And I'm just waiting for like, oh, did you notice it? And I'll be very
Yeah.
quiet about it. But in order for us to communicate together, like he doesn't really work that way. Sometimes he'll notice it, because he's just been with me for 10 years. So,
Yeah.
of course, but it's up to me. Like if I want that acknowledgement, I have to just tell him. And I'm just not used to that yet. But I'm calling myself out because like that's just what it is. Like a lot of the times if you try to think back to all the little miscommunications, it's because I didn't say something to begin with. And it doesn't have to be so big. And I would let it get so big in my head because I'm like, why don't you appreciate or why don't you notice? Why? And then it's been like, why don't
Those
you notice 10 years
voices.
later? So
It's the voices.
yeah,
you know?
it's the voices. So, and I'm sure, on his end, he probably has the same voices where it's like he could have said something to or asked, but then it's 10 years of not asking, or whatever. So we just have new habits to build in this year, which is just like be conscious, have more fun too. And that came from him where it was like, let's have more fun. And I was like, thank God. I want to have
How's it
fun
been,
when
though?
I work with you, dude. It's always tension because one of us feels, I don't know, like maybe not supported or something. So I think that's going to be our challenge, but we're getting better. Yeah.
Okay, so like, what are your goals for? Let's talk about business. Right?
Sure,
like
sure.
Kevin Levu business, like photography business.
Sure.
Like, what are your goals for this year, though?
I want to establish credibility with the team. So when we let go of Bells, I'd worked on 1.5 years of establishing credibility with Jonathan, which I did, and we were making money. Like it wasn't that much, but like we were making money. It was rolling, right? So I was like, cool. Maybe in 3 years, or probably in 3 years, we'll be where we need to be, right? But so that was interrupted. So now that we have Jenna as our lead, and Jonathan leaving, is like starting all over again. Building credibility all over again. So I've made their team portfolio page 4 times. 4 times, give me your images, I'll upload them. How many times I have to do that, dude? And I was like, I'm pro at this anyway, so whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this just goes to show you, like, it's not regretful or anything, but like there is a lot of, I'm just doing the same thing again this year, except I'm doing it within one company. I'm not going back and forth between 2 things or 3 things or whatever. I have one solid team. I can communicate to my lead. I think I can communicate to Kevin, or I'm trying to. And now it's just, again. So it's like I just beat Red Dead Redemption 2 the other day, and I'm playing again
Big
right
gamer.
again.
Mega's a big gamer.
Yeah, so it feels like that. I'm playing the game over. It's New Game Plus for me. I've learned so much. I still got all my stuff, I still got all my tools this time, so it's a new game plus. And I feel like we're a little slow
Why?
in the booking, just because again we're building credibility
Mm-hmm.
again, and I think somewhere along the way too, like Kevin got burnt out. You know what I mean? Like you always heard him, I'm tired, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and
Yeah.
like after so many years not creating a system for himself that would, I guess, be considerate of this moment where it's
Yeah.
like, dude, you've done so much.
Mm.
What are you going to do about it? So we just were kind of unprepared for that. And I think that it's not that we're suffering or anything.
Yeah.
It's just that there's this little dip in our numbers now. We've never had a dip.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 10 years, we've always gone up, which has been great. But it's really not realistic. There's going to be dips in business.
Mm-hmm.
It's lucky that ours came 10 years down the line. We had 10 years to go up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's not like we're going down crazy, but there is a dip.
Mm-hmm.
So for us moving forward in 2019, which I'm still super confident, this is just the things that I hear from Kevin because he sees our numbers directly. He's always looking at the account. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to build the credibility with the team. We're going to have a transition period of creating better systems. We're going to have a moment of like, oh, what the fuck? These things don't work anymore, or these things aren't working as well as they should. Like, does it mean we throw it away completely, or does it mean we just have to tweak something? I think that's what happens when you get into like the intermediate part of business. There's a lot of things that you don't need to necessarily throw away. You just need to refine them. But the problem is you're like, dude, this is a complex clock. Now you got to find which cog, which gear is not oiled or not working correctly, or it's worn off. And if it's just worn off, you just got to sharpen it or whatever. Like what are those? So those are the things that makes business kind of complex. It's like my mentor was saying, like, dude, as you try to get past, certain income levels, it doesn't get harder. It just gets more complex. Like it's the same thing going on,
Yeah.
but the cogs are a little bit more. There's more cogs, right? Like we're trying to grow a team, definitely more cogs to deal with, and they're all very unique little snowflakes. So it's like, oh, okay, so. But instead of getting bogged down with that incredible, like, holy shit, it's complex and huge. The problem is complex and huge. It's like we have this thing now where it's like, let's just do one thing at a time. Like one customer at a time, one sale at a time. But how can we fix all of these little intricate things? Or maybe we're just telling ourselves it's intricate. Maybe it's not as complex.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like within our system.
Yeah.
And then just one at a time. And as we do this work, how can we have fun with it? One way is that we've picked up a whiskey habit. So every night we try to taste a little bit of whiskey. We're not drinking a lot, like maybe half a shot or something.
Yeah.
Not trying to be crazy about it, but just do something to lighten the mood, to get back to us. There were so many times, like, I don't know. Do you experience, like, when you're in business mode, that you're, like, shorter with people, or you're irritable, or are you always jolly like yourself?
I mean,
Like with Cindy.
It has a. Oh yeah, with Cindy. No, I make sure that with
Yeah.
Cindy, I appreciate her
Yeah.
because again, she does a lot of things that people don't see.
So you guys aren't short with each other, like.
No.
That's great.
We talk.
Yeah.
Like we talk. We make sure. I
Yeah.
make sure to talk. Because I talk a lot. We talk a lot about business. We only it seems like that's the only thing we talk about. But
yeah.
it's nice to talk about something that we both care about, that we're passionate about,
Mm.
and of course family stuff. But where I think we just communicate,
Yeah.
and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because it is like, because I'm like Kevin, like
Yeah.
I can be all over the map, right? But at the same time, it's like, I think that one of the biggest difference, maybe it's because of the year, but mentality too.
Yeah.
I just try it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna try new food.
Yeah.
You don't know if you like that shit. You just try it. Oh, I don't like that shit. Later.
Yeah.
I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
I know.
Like social media, like I have 10K followers, I have 20K followers.
Yeah.
oh, what wrong move I'm gonna do and I'm gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, I think the people who really connect with you and fuck with you, they're gonna want to see you change.
Yes.
Like, they want to see you grow and try new things. Like,
Oh,
why
dude,
not?
that's so true.
You feel me? Like, if you've been doing the same thing for 10 years,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like you gotta
Maybe.
do something a little different. Like,
Yeah.
I told Kevin this,
Yeah.
right? A lot of the pictures that I've seen on his Instagram has a lot to do with landscape, and it doesn't seem like
You need
the
a pattern
bride and
interrupt.
groom. To me, it doesn't seem like the bride and groom is really the main focus. And if they are,
Yeah.
it's a very stock photo type feel.
Yeah.
I don't get the feels from it.
Yeah.
And the advantage that you and Kevin has as photographers,
Mm.
you capture moments, and everything around us is energy based.
Yeah.
So if you capture in a moment where you can feel it,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna translate to whoever views it.
Yes.
You feel me? So I
Yeah.
told him, like, bro, like, hey, try capturing or posting pictures where the groom is hugging the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, feels already.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like, what about the bride hugging the mom? Like, feels. Like, don't worry about the aesthetics.
Ah.
Think about the feels.
That's good. When did you tell him that?
Fucking like last year. No, for real, Meg. Like, I don't know, but like, I was like, hey, bro, send me some photos
Yeah.
of that heart wrenching moment.
Yeah.
He never did.
I
Motherfucking damn cat. But the point is, look,
Interesting.
Meg,
Hmm.
how are you gonna differentiate yourself
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
everyone who's taking stock photos too?
Right.
If it looks like it.
Yeah.
It's about, oh, my style.
Yeah.
Fuck the style, man. Like,
Yeah.
now it's about the feels. Like, yo,
Yes.
I want to see, yo, he's gonna capture moments where I'm with my boys,
Yes.
like fucking going ham, you know, like,
Yes.
or with the brides, like having that moment where you're all together as friends,
Right.
but as brides, you know.
It's hard. I think it's hard for a photographer or for an artist per se not to go, this is my signature. You're
know.
hiring me. Da, 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 the ego. And I'm like,
Mm-mm.
like, I want to see my mom. I want to see my dad. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that maybe, and that's how I market Jenna, because I can't be the artist marketing and selling him or herself.
Mhm.
I have to talk about what are the other things, and I think that in that new light, because that's what I did with Jonathan too, in that new way, people are going to, because no matter what, they're like, dude, can I trust you to take photos of my wedding? For the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part. There's some clients who are like, I do want the posh whatever,
That's fine.
but like, honestly, that's like not our client.
Mm.
They usually do not turn out to vibe with us anyway.
Mm.
So I'm like, why are we trying to attract that?
Mm.
Let's mix it up. We need a pattern interrupt. Like, for example,
Mhm.
the blog, we blog every Thursday, right? And we talked about this on the Past the Aisle podcast, where it was like, let's talk about building and breaking traditions.
Mm.
Okay, what's one of them? One of them is blogging every Thursday. And it's the same type of blog every time. And then all he does is weddings, wedding, engagement. And a long time ago, I started writing. And actually, brides did respond to the writing. And that's when I was going through a lot of marriage turmoil and all this stuff. Or
Yeah.
like everlasting, right? And so this time, for today on Thursday, if you guys go check it out for Thursday's blog, it's all about the team.
Check it out. Yeah.
It's all about the team.
Yeah.
So I just wrote about like, okay, how can I start to build again credibility back into the team? And it really is up to me. Like, I have to get stronger and stronger and stronger and better and better and better at injecting that, because he'll just he's a very well-oiled machine who like loves routine, just keeps doing it as long as it's working. And then I have to be strong enough to be like, let's do this.
It ain't working.
I
you
gotta
know?
jump in and be, hey,
Yeah.
like, let's do it, you
Yeah.
know? So, whoops. And not be so afraid that if I get any little pushback, because I'll like crumble. I'm seeing that so clearly, where it's like, oh, I usually just crumble and say yes or no, or like, oh, all right, whatever you want to do. So now it's like, if I want to put forward a new idea, it's not about fighting or arguing. It's just like, hey, we can do this too. Like, just offering it. Or, like you said before when we talked about it, just do it, Meg. Like, oh, okay. And then say sorry after, like, if it didn't work out.
Why not?
What's it really gonna hurt?
It ain't gonna. You're gonna get feedback.
Gonna lose anything, right? Like, what are you gonna lose? Like, I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not, So I'm only trying to help the business. So that's something I'm trying to get in my head, where it's like, dude, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a lot of ideas, and it's just a matter of executing them and not getting in my head about it.
But just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
But Meg, like at the end of the day, the Les Vus is still your page.
At the end of the day, like, I mean, I post more on it because that's like my thing.
Yeah.
And that's been our habit, right? So I want to still incorporate, like, it's not, again, I don't want it to be like I'm forcing him to do this thing. But I want to show him that, hey, like, I'm not trying to separate myself from you anymore. And there was a weird thing, like yesterday, for example. This is another example of why I feel like we're still separate sometimes.
Okay.
Is he got an email, he got a request for a wedding, but he was like, I don't know if I want to do this one. Let's just give it to Jenna or something. And I'm like, no, this is not the attitude. You're still separating yourself from your team. It's like, she's still you. You're still her in this company. So if you're going to pass it off as something that you didn't want to do or something like that, or it was a negative or you didn't want to, you're still going to deal with it. I'm going to still deal with it. Right? So the fact that he said that, and it was like in a short moment, I think I was irritated, but I didn't get mad. So that's a plus.
What did you want him to say?
I
want to know an example of that. Or what did you want to hear?
What did I want to hear is like, let's give this to another photographer because I don't want our team to deal with this.
Oh, okay.
So say it's a Bridezilla, right, for example. If we got a Bridezilla thing and he's like, I don't want to deal with it, here, you have it. Like that. And before I would say, okay. And I'll be like, work is work or whatever back in the with the bells. Because I knew, like, Jonathan didn't care too. He was just like all about the money. But I know who Jenna wants to work with, and I know Jenna wants to be a photographer.
Yeah.
And so again, my attitude changes. Like, I want to nurture her, not just give her money. There's a big difference than just like providing a job, or do I want to actually nurture a photographer here? And I just didn't get that vibe from him. So I still feel like he's sometimes habitually, I don't know if he meant to, but I just told him right then instead of holding it in. I was like, no, you're separating. If you really think that we can do it, if we can do it as Kevin Les Vus photographer, then okay. You can only tell so much in an email. You can tell some things, but like, yeah, you can still take a chance and be like, let's meet with him, whatever. But please, like, don't try to pass things off that is going to be shitty and give them to your team. Like, that's not a team player mentality. And so I just didn't like hearing that. And I was like, he's like, okay, so what do you want me to say or do? I was like, give it to somebody else. Like, if you don't think that we can deal with it, then, or you don't want us to deal with it, then say no, and then just pass it off. This fear of losing out or not making money clouds the judgment of this company a lot. And I want to change that. Where it's like, hey, if you want more meaningful weddings, if you want to have more meaningful clients, I know that's your goal. And stop taking these steps back into worlds where that is not the case. That's not the goal, or that's not the mentality. We're not here just to make money.
Yeah.
Because if that were true, I don't know what's responsible for this dip, but I did feel like a loss in touch with your clients because you're overworked. Because you're, like many clients have told you, and vendors, you're undercharging for your service. So you have to work more hours to make the money that you want to make.
Yeah.
So
interesting. For
his artist mind to overcome that, his own personal challenge, it's all in his time. I just have to be here a better like counterweight, basically. A better resistance. Not a resistance where it's like, you suck, but like, hey, there's more weight on the bar. I'm gonna, help you lift this. So that's the challenge I think that I see, and how I'm trying to navigate around that is trying to just do the actions myself, like posting on the KOV Instagram when it's time to do that.
Nice.
He can still do his own thing,
Yeah.
but I have access.
Yeah.
I have complete access. There's no, I don't check with him. I just post it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to do that more and more and more, feel like more comfortable, I think that's going to be the way to show him, hey, it's okay. It's okay to trust other people. And you are not the most talented person in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not about disarming your talent. It's just about uplifting everyone else. If they win, you win. Okay. And I get frustrated saying that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
If they win, you win.
You win. So this is your business family. Take care of them, nurture them. They're making you money. Don't just treat them like nothing, So that's what I want to inject. And
question, because I know that when Kevin and I talked last year, right? Like, November, December, I remember your mentor, Jeff, like he had a conversation with you and Kevin and kind of like, boom, like this is what you got to do. You're getting complacent. Like, all that stuff, right?
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah.
But I have a question, like, did Kevin still apply any of that?
Not yet.
Why?
I don't know.
Because I've been applying some of the shit that Jeff's been saying, and it works.
I know.
He knows his shit.
Yes.
And it works.
Yes.
You feel me? So it's kind of like, Kevin, like, if you guys are dipping, that's a good sign, because now it's time for you to get
pay attention.
Uncomfortable again. Like, that's such a good feeling. Like, I'm getting that vibe of not fear anymore. It's like, fucking do it. Let's see what fucking happens. Let's do it. Let's try it.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen is you get some remarks and you're like, oh, okay, change the tactic. It's so easy anyway. People forget like crazy nowadays.
They do. Or just delete or whatever. Like, you're going to post.
Apologize.
It's just like our Instagram feed. It's like, oh, what about these 9 images right
That's
here?
not
I was
personal.
Like, bitch, we're going to put down like
Nick,
60. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
not personal.
Yeah.
Like, how is I want the aesthetically pleasing. No, but think about it. Like, as a client, right? Like, aesthetically pleasing for who?
Yeah.
For you or me, Right. So that's why I'm saying is like the one thing in Instagram like that I would love for Kevin to just try, or for you to try for him, is straight up just like these posts where you just get these heart-wrenching moments.
Yeah.
Because that is a personal touch.
Right.
And if you want more meaningful clientele, you're going to want clientele that actually cares about those moments.
Right.
Not just about how posh I look. Look, if you're going to do photos of how posh you look, guess what you're going to attract? Those type of clients.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Right.
But I guarantee you that when you do freaking photos of like a lot of just like moments where you actually care about them, not how your photo style looks, you're going to get more passionate people, warm people that actually only care about that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I know I like to assume and all that shit, but this one, I feel it.
I think it's hard for him. Yeah. I know
it's hard.
It's like he doesn't want to. I think it's a muscle, right? That sensitivity muscle. Like, and he's got it too. When he's shooting, he's got it. But in order for him to step outside the comfort zone and post something emotional, you know what I mean? And then talk about that.
What's there to talk about in a photo? Like, when I see my photo that you guys took of me and my dad and my father-in-law, there's nothing to say.
Yeah.
I go back in time. Like, the one gift that photographers have, and they probably don't even realize, right? Is more than just right now what you see. When you look at that picture, when I look at my picture of my dad and my father-in-law, I go back in time and I know exactly where I'm at.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, I go subconsciously. It's a trip for me.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, that was cool. And then I go back to my shit.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, I mean, that's what your gift as photographers are. You take people back in time.
That's pretty cool.
Like, you take them back in time.
Right. And I love looking back at our photos. Like, I just
Tell me you don't go back in time,
I'm like,
you know?
oh, I was so cool. And I don't give a crap
Yeah.
about composition too much. Like if I do notice that and all that stuff, like of course who took it? It's us, right? So I'm like, it looks good. So, but like sometimes you're like, damn, this is a nice looking photo. But then that was it. The most important is the subject.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that was us here in Japan or in whatever, right?
In that moment,
Yeah, in that moment.
you know.
So it's I don't know, sometimes I feel that this challenge is a repetitive one, and then it comes through in a lot of things. Like for example, doing normal things around the house. Like he always have to check with me, or when he's out and about, he always has to call me. Oh, should I do this? Should I do? I'm like, just do it. Just make the decision for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why you have to ask me? Like, how many cuts do I make? I'm like, just got it. You know what I mean? So it gets
Yeah.
I get tired of
Yeah.
making not only decisions for myself but for him. So that's something that I have to bring up in a way where it's like, there's this like habitual thing to check in with me on things that you don't need to check in with me. But then when it comes time to some real ass decisions, it's like you cannot let go of it. It's weird. It's like, well, maybe if I check in with her about all these little shit that doesn't matter, like she won't try to change the way I do shit. I don't know. I have to ask the question. It's like, why is that? That doesn't make any sense. And with him, now that I've learned, it's like, if it doesn't make any sense, there's something else. There's something deeper that's affecting these weird behaviors. Because it's just a behavior. It's not him. So there's something else affecting it. And we got a show today, so I'm going to ask. And I'll be like, why you do that? And not be judgmental about it and just be like,
Okay, I think knowing Kevin, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of it is fear based.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things is, what are your fears? Like, you asked me this, but what are your fears about this
Yeah.
thing that you're asking for? Do you think I'm
Right.
gonna retaliate? Do you think I'm gonna scold you? Like,
Oh,
what are your
retaliate.
fears?
That's a
know what I
good
mean?
one.
Because maybe he's used to that. He attracts that. Because, you know, I've heard it in situations where I'm like, okay, there's some fear base in that. You know, I'm like, but like now I used to be scared of shit too. Especially going online or doing social or whatever.
Yeah,
being me.
jewelry.
Being me, right? But I'm like, fuck it. You know, like, do it. Like,
Yeah.
what is fear? It's just me.
Yeah.
It's my own shit,
Yeah.
you know. But everyone has been so supportive. Like, new people, old people, whoever fucks with me, they've been so supportive. And like, it's crazy, right? There's only been about one person that on Instagram on my page where he said, "What the fuck are you doing this for?" or something like this, and I was like,
Really?
"Oh shit!"
Here's your
I was legit
opportunity.
excited. I was so fucking excited. I was
Yeah.
like, thank you, God. Thank
Yeah.
you for this person.
Yeah.
Because that was my chance to really offer myself
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
Like, he's hating, great. And now I said Happy New Year to him. He's like, hey, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas.
Wow.
So it's like, look, like, don't fucking be scared about
Yeah.
these people that hate on you.
Yeah.
Those are the best people to really converse with.
Ah.
Because they're an example of, to all the other people watching, what is he going to do?
What
is
are
she
you gonna
going to
do? Yeah.
You know? And when you react negative for negative, you lost. But when you react in a way where, like, dude, legit though, I'm fucking grateful for this person, you know? It changes things.
Yeah, it does.
You just start attracting more good people into your life.
Ah,
It's the coolest shit.
cool, dude.
You know what I mean? So
I
it's
love it.
like, look, Kevin, I know, bro, like, it's scary and shit, right? But you gotta get over it. You gotta get over it. You have
How
Megan.
does one just get over it though?
You just gotta go into the mode where, fuck all.
Yeah.
Let's try it all.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it. Like, remember, like, before Kevin and I, we were talking about, oh, let's do the photography booth business and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to give up on Super, might as well fucking go all out and try everything under the sun
Yeah.
before I really give up,
Right.
you know? So that's
Right.
why I was like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go,
Yeah.
you know? And from that, it's been amazing, though. He actually freed me.
Yes,
I
that's
was
how I saw
like,
it too.
You know what I mean? Like, he
I'm freeing
freed me.
you.
Like, he freed me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck my fears. Because I'm
Yeah.
going to give it up anyway.
Yes.
That mentality.
I think it was the best thing that could have happened because like we had our time in the sun, and I have this reoccurring theme that I have on the YouTube channel where it's like, dude, something was born. It was hecka dope, and we went ham on it for however long we wanted to. And then I was like, dude, I don't fuck with this anymore. And then I would just let it die, and I was okay with it.
Yeah.
And I see that in Super clearly, where it's like, yeah, we don't need to be here. We got our own shit to figure out. Honestly, we were bringing a lot of our own shit into Super, where I could see you being like, dude, I had so many ideas. We could do this. We can do that. You were already in the culture of your market. We were out of touch. We were old fogies compared to who you wanted to reach. And I was like, this is not for us. Like, not for us. It's like, we got to get out of here. And I was so comfortable leaving because I saw this person that you are now then. And I was like, cool, he's gonna be cool. And then it just took Kevin a little while to like figure out where he said he was going back and forth too, but I was like, I'm good, and I know you're gonna be good. So I was just like, dude, that's tight. And now how do I now we have this new kind of relationship in business where it's not there yet. And I'm trying to figure out ways to, how do we streamline this? How do we make it better? I haven't said this yet.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's like, I need to just see, and I'll tell him today.
Yeah.
I need to just take care of all of admin,
Yeah.
where the chain is not going like this,
Yeah.
where it goes like this, right? From time of lead to time of product. It needs to be like a straight line. So I want to take over all admin, where we're not going to have all these different accounts and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll let you know when you got a job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be.
Because you can say no.
Because I know who to say no to. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure like there's still going to be that transition period. It can't be immediately. It can't be like tomorrow, because he has so much knowledge that he needs to just kind of like offload into like a document so that I can access it or whatever. Like, so how I can be trained, right? To kind of take over that, truly take over admin. And so I think it will be a lot better, because we're going back into 2019, and he's like, or 2000, we're going into 2019, and he's like, oh, I got to edit. I'm like, dude, we just fucking talked about this. We need to get a fucking editor. Like, if you don't want to do all this stuff, like, we just talked about, you just made an editing video. Like, he's like, oh, I'm only going to do it in the busy time. And I'm like, then you're never going to learn how to offload your stuff. But I don't even have the balls to, like, say that sometimes. Because I'm like, I don't want to have a conversation or argument again.
Yeah.
And that's what gets tiring. That's what makes me be really like frustrated and lose it. That's what makes me get turned off. I'm like, I'm gonna have this conversation, but I want to be better about that, and not be like a sourpuss and like just assume that he's not gonna want to change. That's my habit too. So in order for us to really like overcome, I have to get over my habit, which is to not say anything or not to be strong enough to stand up to this person who's like so stuck in his ways. And then just see. And just have you be like, fuck it, let's just try it, all right? Just let me take over, and let's see how your life improves. Or if it doesn't, then we can go back.
Yeah. I mean, you can always go back.
You could always go back. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
so
you can always go
that's
back.
what I got to get in my head, too. It's like, dude, if I'm being afraid to, like, stand up and be like, dude, it should be better. You
Then
can always
do
go
it.
back.
You know? And again, that fear of like, saying and doing, but I think it's so important to just do it.
Just do it.
And then you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
This happened.
Yeah.
Do you like it? No. Yes. And just go from there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sick of these plans. Like, yeah, you can plan, but does shit really go according to plan all the time? Fuck no. You know, like sometimes you don't know. This ugly ass looking food could have been the best thing for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know until I try it.
Yeah.
You know? So do you think I'm comfortable? No, really. Do you think I'm comfortable going to barbershops or going to these barbershops and like going people to people? No.
No.
It's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm nervous as shit,
Yeah.
but I go, fuck it. Thanks, Abel. Let's go. You know, and then I just fucking pass out business cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I tell you what, social media, if you really fucking work it in your social, hell of a lot easier.
And you don't
reach more
reshoot.
people, huh?
You don't reshoot, which I noticed in you.
Reshoot?
Like
do you
like so. For example,
Mm.
you do your stories, right?
Yeah.
And you hit publish right away.
Yeah.
For example, like if it was maybe me or Kevin
Mhm.
shoot a story, if it wouldn't look cool, if it didn't look cool, if I didn't look good in it, or if whatever, delete, do it again.
Mm.
Can you do it again?
Mm.
Like this this perfect photographer mentality, where you're like, okay, let's go. Whatever it was,
Yeah.
publish.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, publish. Right? So I like that freedom that you have with yourself.
And I mean, that's the cool thing, I guess. You know, we all have it in us to do
Yeah.
it. Like
I try to be like that, where it's like
you can though.
it looks like I just capture it in a moment, publish, like to be
That's-
more free.
That's because that's how you're gonna really connect. Like people want to see flaws.
Yeah.
It's weird, but like, look, if I have a fucking pimple or a zit, fuck it.
Fuck it. Yeah.
It's gonna go away the next week.
Yeah.
You know, so enjoy it while it's there. You feel me? No, really, like
Yeah.
enjoy my imperfections while it's there. And I'm like,
'Cause
oh
I'm gonna
shit.
be perfect next week. Okay.
No, really, like I'm just like, oh shit.
Heck yeah.
I look at myself and I go, fuck, I got zits, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I got to fucking tone down on my eating. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like I need to be
Yeah.
conscious of that, and people love that.
That's true. That's true.
That you're real, man.
That you're real,
you're
yeah.
a real person. Not always.
Yeah.
Oh fuck it. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't want to do this shit.
I don't. Yeah, I
Like,
just take the first
nah.
one now. Like before, I remember years ago, it was like, oh, it doesn't look that good, or it was like, oh, I look weird in it, or whatever. I would take it again. Now it's just like, boom, it's what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it
really.
is.
That's
Yeah.
what the story's about.
And I'm like, this
You
is
know?
some bullshit. Okay, so it's 12. We need to end.
Oh wow, it's been an hour already, huh? Oh.
Thank you, Tony, for being here on the Golden Rule. It was really fun again, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
We have another show to do, so
Hell
I have
yeah.
a lot of work to do on
Yes,
my
yes.
end. And
Same.
we'll see you guys when? When should the next episode be?
Shit. I don't know. Do you do weekly, bi-weekly? Tell
I
the
do-
viewers how often y'all want us to do this shit. You feel me? The
it's
golden
up
rule.
to you, honestly. So like,
I'm
I think weekly is always good with us, like with
Okay.
our schedule,
I like this.
like what he's comfortable with too. So it's still like, oh, if you're doing the Golden Rule, you're not doing something for us.
It's hold up, bro. I'm pumping Meg up to
Yeah.
do the show with you, brother.
We've been having
You
this
feel
damn
me?
argument since the very beginning of this show. Like, calm down, dude. It's an hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's an hour of my time, not your time. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
The golden rule time.
Silly.
So don't worry, Meg. I'm giving you the energy.
Thank
Giving
you,
the
thank
energy.
you, thank
Look
you,
at you,
thank
look
you,
at you,
thank
look at
you,
you.
thank
You're
you,
ready.
thank you.
You're ready. So let's do next week, same time, 11.
Next week, same time.
Thursday, 11.
Sure.
Golden rule time.
All right, guys. See you next time here on the Golden Rule.
You
Bye.
Are, wait, you gotta introduce your outro.
Oh, outro. Okay,
you
outro.
are.
I am Meg Levu. You
And
can follow us on the Levus now.
Yeah. My name is Tony Chang, baby. You can find me on WTF is Tony.
Oh, maybe that's why I couldn't find you because I spelled it wrong. I'll put it in the description. WTF
WTF is Tony.
is
baby.
Tony. Okay, cool. All right, guys.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Cool. Thanks, Dave. Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Always good.
Damn, this setup though is so simple.
Tight on. Sure, you want to